Spring Black Friday is on at the Home Depot. Save on grills and patio sets that will be sure to bring your hosting game up a notch. Fire up your feast with help from the Home Depot and save on grills. Like the Next Grill 4-burner propane gas grill was $249, now in special buy for $199. Or give everyone the best seat in the yard with the Hampton Bay Mayfield Park 4-piece conversation set for only $399. Save on grills and patio sets with low prices guaranteed during Spring Black Friday only at the Home Depot. Now through April 22nd, while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I found myself... where's Dan?
Dan had personal stuff.
Okay.
As he mentioned at the top of the show.
Okay, very good.
Of many shows.
Okay. I just wasn't sure, all right, so Dan stepped out. All right, very good. So, the game ends last night, and I found myself grateful. How could I have been grateful? I'm a huge Heat fan, right? It's the team of my childhood. Their season just ended.
You get to dunk on Jeremy.
That could be anything.
I actually felt validated by last night in a weird way.
We're talking about how
we can go to where you are.
We're
before
talking about
that.
me first.
Yeah, we're talking about him.
I was
not dunk on me day.
Grateful at the end of the game last night. I was grateful that the way things went down last night, LaMelo Ball injuring Bam, on purpose, the referee looking right at it and refusing to call anything. LaMelo clear travel at the end of the third quarter. They get 3 points out of it. LaMelo, clear travel, the second to last possession, where we lost the feed.
Yeah, you're saying clear travel. I don't know if it was a clear travel.
We were
because
told it was.
Ridiculous that we lost the feed in that moment.
Well, the second one is a clear travel.
And when we came back to the feed, it wasn't just the travel, which we can all assume he probably did because we watched him.
Yeah.
But also, they came back saying, and it was probably a backcourt.
Okay, so I'll address the backcourt real quick. When they did show the replay, I'm not willing to sit here and yell about the backcourt because I don't think his heel touched the line. But again, they took 3 points away from us when they said Max Strus's heel hit the line, you know?
They took him away 10 minutes later.
Yeah, very similar.
Which is something that you see in the NBA all the time.
Very similar. But I'm not willing to scream about that because I don't think his heel came on the half-court line. But he definitely did travel on the ensuing layup once they showed us the replay because, the screen went to technical difficulties. My goodness. I mean, the first year that they got the streaming, they're losing playoff games with the game on the line. Come on, get it together. Anyway, so the things that LaMelo Ball in particular was allowed to get away with, I was grateful, Greg, because if this was a Heat team that's like a contender and our season ends with all of that going on, I mean, I'm jumping out the window.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even, I'm being serious. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I would have been out of my mind because, as fans, we're just sitting here. There's nothing we can do. There's obviously nothing Eric Spoelstra can do. I would have been out. I wouldn't have been able to handle it if that's how the Heat season ended, if it was a season with expectation.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm not on the bandwagon railing about what happened to Bam and blaming the loss on that. Because this just felt like a Heat season that sort of needed to end. I mean, it's been such a forgettable season on top of the way they went out of the playoffs in historic fashion last year. To have this disappointing season, it's just, I'll take the bump from 4 to 7% on the top 4 pick. I'll take moving up a few spots in the main draft. Just let's think about next year. Better yet, let's think about this summer. And I do think if they can still get Giannis, that they should.
That'd be a good ad for them, you think?
That may not be Mike says he doesn't think it'll help. I mean, I'm sure others.
He says it's not. There's still more team that needs to be surrounding Giannis than more than just Giannis.
Yes. Well, before I even argue that, because I can feel Jeremy's eyes rolling, and Jeremy started this segment by saying he came away encouraged.
I don't get that.
I'd like to know Like, no, let's have an honest discourse, and I'm not going to do the thing. And look, I'm back to back to back.
I might cut you off.
So go ahead. Tell me why you were encouraged by last night.
Validated. Not encouraged about the roster. Like, where I felt validated, it wasn't about the ceiling of the team, whether they'd have success. We can all agree at this point, now that they lost, cool that they have higher draft odds. Like, congratulations. I look forward to our watch party on, what, is it May 10th? So, on Mother's Day?
Big day.
So, where I felt sort of validated in my feeling of, hey, it's fun to watch your team try to win throughout the year, and tanking kind of stinks, is last night, we all lived and died by all of these emotions of the game. Your star player goes out injured. You watch your team, try to fight and claw their way into a game they had no business being in. There's all this back and forth at the end. It's a game with stakes that has incredible entertainment value that comes down to the wire. And we just experienced that one game in this season that is better for those experiences than what 10 to 12 other fan bases will get over the course of about 3 years.
Oh, but it's fleeting. I mean, it was 2 hours, whatever.
But isn't that, hold on, isn't that what sports is about? Isn't sports, as a fan, as an organization, championship or bust, win or misery. But as a fan, what you're looking for is to feel those things that sports can make you feel. And for me, I'm watching last night with my fan hat on because the regional broadcasts are done for the year. I could just watch this through the perspective of, hey, I want my team to win, and that's it. And I'm enjoying watching this incredible basketball game that my team is playing in.
Okay.
And I'm not supposed to. But isn't that the point? Like, aren't we?
I think I would have enjoyed it if the Bulls were playing.
But isn't it great to be able to feel the emotions that come with it? Like, great basketball game is one thing. To be able to have your team be a part of it with stakes involved is another. And
I don't know, man. I didn't have the emotions last night. Like, I wanted the Heat to win. It was annoying that my son was sitting next to me rooting for them to lose, but I wanted the Heat to win.
Smart kid, that way.
And, that did not feel the same way as, the playoffs in 2023.
Yeah, but that's a different standard. What I'm talking about is, like, that game is the best thing a Jazz fan would have over the course of 5 years, that a Grizzlies fan would have over the course of 5 years.
I'm glad that's not our team.
All these franchise. That's my point. My point is, we've spent all year talking about how this franchise.
But if the Jazz get a cuff, I'd rather be the Jazz.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
because you spent 5 years in misery. My point
I've spent
is that
3 years in misery.
Watching your team compete year after year and have moments. We talked about several throughout the year where you could get excited.
You call this competing.
You're trying to win games.
For a plane, you call this competing. I don't call this competing.
I'm not saying competing for the championship.
It's been 3 years of misery.
They're the 10th seed.
It's been 3 years
I know. That's what I'm saying is I understand this team was not competing for a championship. I get that. There came a point in the season where you realize, oh, that's not going to be a championship team. And it was probably before the season. Because last year they had to discard their best player, and this was always going to be a transition year to this upcoming offseason. But the fact that in that transition year, you don't just have to turn off your television and get absolutely zero entertainment value throughout the season, that there can be all sorts of different moments with great games, and then one last night where there's actual stakes on the line.
If last night was stakes,
great.
it was like a sirloin.
That's fine. My point would be that sirloin is better than
the
nothing.
Last cut that you choose.
Sirloin's a pretty low end cut.
Stew meat.
It was a hamburger steak.
What's the order?
Like a hanger steak.
If the price is not an option, you're at a great steakhouse, all right? You're at Ruth's Chris, you're at Prime.
I think sirloin is the lowest end they would have there. Like, there are other restaurants that might have a lower end, but I feel like a sirloin.
I like a fat cap on my steak, so I'm going to go like tomahawk. I'm going to go like a New York.
But you're going
strip.
tomahawk. I want low end. What are
no,
the
but he's
worst?
asking about high end.
I'm asking start at high end.
Okay.
If price is not an option, again, Smith and
I'd say like Japanese Wagyu would probably be the top. And it's $350
That's
bucks for
NBA
like
Finals. That's NBA Finals.
But in terms
New York
of
strip.
In terms of cut, though, I think it's the filet mignon or the ribeye.
See, that's interesting that you mentioned the filet mignon because I very famously told the story last year on my college football campus tour of the ESPN radio that I got made fun of. All right, that it's a very feminine cut. The filet mignon. I love a filet mignon.
It is a dainty cut.
And Amber Wilson told me it's a very effeminate cut of meat I just ordered.
It is.
I never get it. That's the steak I order.
All right.
So.
I'd like to tackle what I think Jeremy was trying to say, which is that extra game wasn't that fun. You had that much more fun than the Utah Jazz fan, because the Utah Jazz fan, at no point did they have moments like, hey, we're an attractive destination for the superstar, because they were always rebuilding. But I don't think the gulf in our experience with this season and playing that play-in and losing it is the same amount of gulf that we'll have. The difference between me watching Darius Acuff highlights on YouTube and Haynes Steinbach is a much wider gulf than the experience that the Utah Jazz fan had with the Miami Heat fan. And that's the angle I want to take right now, which is in watching this season, especially the latter end, where the Miami Heat historically start putting it together and start being a team that you don't want to play in the playoffs, and watch it go the opposite direction and seeing what they look like without Bam. All right, let's see what these pieces can do. We have 2 All-Stars still on the court. Let's see what we can do. Let's see who here out of these 2 teams would be positioned better to get a Giannis. I watched that game, and understanding that acquiring Giannis would take some capital, some draft capital, and some rotational pieces, and even starting pieces. I don't think this team is a Giannis away. And I think also I was in on Giannis for this year. Giannis is now going to be a year older. Giannis has a big body, and he has some liabilities in his game. He has some flaws in his game. My whole perspective is, no, Giannis, you blew it. I don't want you anymore. And also these last 3 years, Pat, we're not going to do it your way anymore. Because the whole motivation about getting Giannis is we got to capitalize on this window right now. We got to do this right now. We have Pat Riley over there, the Godfather. We have to build this way because that's the way that the Miami Heat have always built. No. That's not how the Miami Heat have always built. They got the luxury of building that way because they had Dwayne Wade on their roster. They had a superstar already on their roster that you knew was all elite. They're not there yet. We saw what this team did with a healthy Bam Adebayo. I think we all should probably evaluate Pat's position in all of this. Hey, let's chase Giannis because that's how we get right back in the title picture. I don't think I want to rebuild that way. I don't think we're a Giannis away. I'd rather do it the right way, the conventional way. If I'm going to put together a package to get a superstar, I'd rather put together a package to get Darius Acuff than Giannis Antetokounmpo, because let me tell you something, 2 years from now, I think most teams would rather have Acuff than Antetokounmpo. And I don't think we got a 2-year window here. I say, let's pull our draft capital in a really good NBA draft and try to get an absolute superstar if we don't get lucky in the lottery.
I do think, I don't agree with everything you're saying, but I do think it's interesting, the idea of, okay, let's say that Giannis Antetokounmpo has another 2 years, like you're saying, of being a superstar. How much does it actually matter then to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo when you look at what's going on in Oklahoma City and they're not slowing down over the next 2 years?
Right.
You look at San Antonio, they're certainly not slowing down over the next 2 years. So does it even make sense to trade away young players, a bunch of draft picks for, what's a 2? I'll even give you a 3rd-year window if you want with Giannis at a superstar level if you don't actually believe it makes you better than those 2 teams that I just mentioned.
I mean, we've been criticizing Pat Riley for a few years now for being unable to boat the whale. Giannis is still a whale, in my view, and will be for another 3 years. And that's that. He creates the new window if you get him. So I'm not going to change my opinion. They need Giannis. They need something major. They lack a superstar. They've got 3 20-point scorers, 3 All-Stars, but no superstar.
They've got 2 All-Stars, really, because one of them, 2 of them you can't play at the same time. You can't play defense.
That's true.
Hey, Roy, buddy.
Yo.
You know that energy shift when the game gets good and everybody, all together, in unison, knows to stand up on their feet?
Oh, absolutely, Mike.
Yeah, you've been at many big-time sporting events. You know that moment quite well. That's what it's like when you take your first sip of Cuervo.
Oh, delicious.
It's the signal that says, we're not checking the time anymore, pal. It's when small talk turns into stories. Cuervo, man, it's that high-five a random stranger effect. That's right. The game is popping. You're hugging people you never met before. That's the kind of energy that Cuervo brings. It's so smooth, so delicious. That's the Cuervo effect. Keep it Cuervo.
Folks, listen up. Quick break in the action. Are you counting down the days until payday?
Instacash from Moneyline can help you access up to $500 of your hard-earned pay early. There's no interest, no credit check, and no monthly fees, so you can manage those in-between expenses with less stress. Download the Moneyline app and link your qualifying bank account to see what you qualify for. Moneyline. Make money easy. Instacash is subject to terms and eligibility requirements. Expedited delivery requires a turbo fee. See moneyline.com.
10-day Tony.
What's up, Mike?
It's NBA playoff time.
Finally.
Yeah. The NBA playoffs are here. Every possession feels like someone's season is on the line.
Because it is.
It's all about drama. And now, there's baseball on every night. We're back into baseball.
We are.
Every random Tuesday feels like October when you're into the sport as much as we are. Which is why I texted you the other night, 10-day Tony. Hey, I got a couple of Miller Lights. I got all the games on. Why don't you come over, pal?
Guess what I did?
You came over?
I hauled over there.
You hauled over there, but not before you stopped by a convenient place to pick up some Miller Lite. They sell it pretty much anywhere. They have beer.
You had the white cans. I brought over the brown bottles.
Oh,
nice little 2-for-1 there.
We had ourselves a time. How many times did we jump up off the couch and cheers?
Every time.
We looked at each other, took a sip, said, yeah, bud, this is exactly where we need to be. We made the right call. That's why we reach for Miller Lite every time. Cheers to legendary moments with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Batard. This is the quickest it goes. Hey, this is the quickest it goes. Stugotz. Everybody, this is the quickest it goes. Yeah. This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
By the way, I don't even think the superstar, Jeremy and I actually have consensus on this. I think we're targeting the wrong superstar. I'd rather go after Kawhi, and I know Kawhi has had his injuries, but I think Kawhi's got
I think they're going to
games.
trade him.
He's got aspects to his game that I can count on him for a larger window. And look, if you want to tell me the plan is Kawhi and Giannis, I'm curious to see how that happens when we haven't had enough to simply get Giannis. But I'm with you. But Giannis alone, this team is not a Giannis away.
Really quick, I want to say something because we've seen this before with the Charlotte Hornets and what happened to the Miami Heat. If the Miami Heat trade for Kawhi Leonard and that nothing Adam Silver decides to drop the hammer on Kawhi Leonard in a Miami Heat uniform, we got problems. We got big problems.
Yeah,
okay? And I'm going to get out in front of it, and I'm going to say, Adam Silver, you better not do it. I'm going to sig zazz on you. Do not do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
That would really be something.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I can't imagine, yeah.
I think we'd have to kill Pablo.
For sure.
I'm not going to say what I would do into a microphone, Tony. You think I'm an idiot? I'm not going to say it into a microphone and on a camera what I would do. I would never incriminate myself. Why would you ask me to do that?
So you'd kill Pablo personally?
Let's for a moment, that's an interesting hypothetical, but let's for a moment try to ignore the Pat Riley in the room.
Pat Riley.
We just saw an entire season of Bam Adebayo playing pretty good ball. I mean, 83 points.
It's weird. We forget the stretch of the season where I was like, yo, Bam, why are you bad now?
Yeah, that's crazy how good he was considering the start of the season.
It's like, you're a bad player now. What happened?
But, like, the Miami Heat were pretty healthy this year. And yet...
Hero missed half the season.
That's not true.
All right, well, historically, we go on deep runs when Hero's out. So I don't understand how Tyler Hero's still here. I really... It's confusing to me. But... He can't be on the court with Norm Powell. He's very clearly not as attractive a piece to any of these teams. By the way, Portland kind of got it right. I mean, Advia went for 2 first-round draft picks, and he's an absolute superstar, bona fide.
Top Jew.
He was
best
incredible.
Jew basketball player ever.
If we're
top 2,
Jew. The Pat Riley in the room is we're constantly worried about his window and his approach to talent acquisition. Most NBA fans would look at this roster, say, Bam's probably somebody that you flip because you know what your ceiling is when Bam's your best player. You have some pieces here that can get you some more draft capital, and man, this is a good NBA
But Mike,
draft.
you know what your ceiling is when Bam's your second or third best player also.
Yes, true. Even though that was a couple years ago, but I think his game's aging gracefully, clearly. He's somehow improved.
I don't agree with that part that you know what your ceiling is when Bam is your second or third best player. I mean, the ceiling is 2 NBA Finals appearances and a Game 7 in the East Finals. Pretty good ceiling.
Right, that's a good ceiling.
You're right on the cusp. It's
pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a pretty good ceiling.
Okay.
And
when he's your second player, that's
okay. You were saying it's not positive.
Yeah, he's saying that as a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, although like with him and Jimmy Butler, he got hurt unfortunately in that bubble, and their ceiling might have been they were NBA champions that year. we were always saying that we needed a player that was better than Jimmy Butler, while conceding that Jimmy Butler was better than Bam Adebayo. Right. What I'm saying is, if you're looking at this impartially, most people would say, is thinking that you got the juice to get a superstar going to put you in the title mix in the East? You got to climb over 10 teams. I think most people would look at this conventionally and say, why don't you take a look at trading Bam? Why don't you take a look at building through what is an exceptional draft? What I'm willing to do is see how this lottery shakes out. I am not married to the idea of just like going in and getting the whale again. I'm probably a little scarred by us missing all the time and having seasons like this, no doubt. And trust me, I'm a Miami Heat fan. I truly want to believe in the Kawhi, Giannis, pie in the sky scenario. I do. And if that's a real possibility, go for it. Gangbusters. It's Pat Riley. It's a Godfather. It's what we do. But I think you look at this draft, that might not be the best route, because I don't think that going down that route guarantees you much more than a 4 seed.
I think also when we look at this, though, no matter how deep the draft is, like look at every draft over the last decade, those top 4 or 5 picks, even there, you got a 50-50 shot of that guy being a good NBA player. There's a lot of misses. And so when you can go get a guarantee, even if it's a 2 or 3 year window of Giannis at whatever his peak is, or a 2 or 3 year window of Kawhi Leonard, who actually ironically played some of the best basketball of his career.
He played his best season this year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you go get one of those guys to pair with the guy that we mentioned yesterday in terms of on-off numbers, was literally the best player in the Eastern Conference in terms of his impact when he's on the floor, you pair him with one other superstar and you build whatever the rest of the roster needs to be. The issue that the Heat had this year is a roster built around Bam that was not like talented enough, nor was it built in terms of the depth positionally where you need it. Were they good enough on defense to help him? He anchored them for 65, 70 games there to a top 5 defense before they completely fell apart at the end. His impact on the floor, if he can be your number 2 option offensively and your anchor defensively, paired with a guy, either of those guys, by the way, whose ceiling outside of playoff performance is higher than what Jimmy Butler's was as a regular season player, you instantly forget what the rest of your roster looks like. You become, at the worst, that 5th team in the Eastern Conference just simply based off having those guys, and what you build around them becomes upside from there.
My worry on the fit of X's and O's with Giannis and Bam, like, is that something that we know will work? Right?
I think what you've seen with Bam this year with his 3-point shot and the way that evolved, he's also comfortable working off the ball.
He's not going to play 5 out, like be the guy who's like the stretch 5.
I mean, if you watched what he did for a good portion of this season, like
that's what they're going to be doing if they eventually go to Khalil Ware in the starting lineup.
Only late in the year was Bam like handling the ball and just trying to get his. Most of this season, and by the way, once he started playing well, you had a ton of possessions where he was starting in the corner and then being a playmaker from there, either as a shooter or as a playmaker. So I do think that like Giannis or Kawhi or whoever would be the like ball dominant player.
Kawhi would be an interesting fit.
Yeah, and I think
Giannis feel clogged with Giannis.
And also we have to start asking ourselves like, are we the place that these superstars want to go?
I do think that, like,
because if I'm watching those 2 teams, Charlotte and Miami, I think Charlotte is probably, even though it's in Charlotte, but in a vacuum, Charlotte's got more to give and is probably more of an attractive destination to compete right now.
I think that most players really, really like and respect what Bam is as your, if you want to call him your Robin.
Not a lot of respect from LaMelo Ball.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. But if you look at like Giannis or Kawhi, and you look at, let's just be real, Miami as what it is, and Eric Spoelstra, who's still the most respected coach in this game, if I'm looking here, I'm saying, yeah, I might want to go there. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen. Maybe the Heat get lottery luck, and it changes their entire perspective of what they want to do.
Point? Would you say sorry?
Absolutely not.
The Heat have never...
By the way, I hope it happens.
The Heat have never won the draft lottery.
They would have won it last year.
Be a night... All right.
No, they wouldn't.
It'd be nice if it happened for the first time this year. It really was a perfect way for the season to end last night with the Hornets getting away with all of the bullshit with LaMelo Ball and the travels and the foul. And that, of course, was preceded by the Hornets getting away with scamming the Miami Heat in the Terry Rozier trade. Like, it really was the exclamation point on this season that it was the Hornets who put an end to it. Before we wrap up last night's game, this should make all Heat fans feel better, though. So LaMelo Ball, even though the referee is looking right at it, does not call anything on the floor. They don't review anything. Bam misses the rest of the game. Away we go. So that's one of the times that, all right, there's going to be a reporter. There's going to be a pool reporter who then goes and talks to the head official after the game. So the head official was Zach Zarba, who was not the official who was standing right there, very clearly looking at the play, but Zach Zarba is the crew chief, and so this is from Rod Boone. He covers the Hornets for the Charlotte Observer. He was the pool reporter, and he asks Zach Zarba, why was the play not reviewed in real time? Zarba responds with, the play wasn't whistled in real time, play continued with a fast break, and because play wasn't stopped immediately and there was no whistle on the play, the window to review the play was closed. Play was stopped after a change of possession and then a timeout. So by rule, our window to review that play then is closed. So let me get this straight before I go on to the next questions from the pool reporter. I mean, you have people in Secaucus watching the game. It's literally the only game going on, and it's a do-or-die game. So because play continued, the official clearly missed the call. Because play continued, we cannot go back and look at an extremely consequential play where the star player for one team is now injured and out for the game. That's what they're explaining to me. We can't use common sense and go back and look at a play. That's what I have to believe.
It makes zero sense to me. I don't understand why that's the rule. Maybe that rule will change because I've never really seen this play out this way, right? Like, I never do you have what is clearly and obviously a flagrant foul not called as a foul to begin with.
And I'll tell you what, everyone to a man, Greg, it's not even like, oh, do you think he should have been thrown out? I don't think he should have been thrown out. Maybe technical. Like, everyone I've heard talk about it says he should have been thrown out the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, when Spo says that, and that's a little bit uncharacteristic for him, when Spo says that, it's going to become a newsworthy thing, and Lebatard's on that bandwagon. Most everybody is.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans, skullduggery. But
is it tomfoolery, though?
Hijinks.
I'm going to go with hijinks.
So not tomfoolery.
Yeah,
what would
not quite.
tomfoolery be?
I think tomfoolery is something a little less serious, a little more jocular, a little,
kind of talking trash more so than
maybe they're dancing when they do it because you just started dancing.
Tomfoolery goes, a little
grab ass.
Yeah, a little noogie on the head.
A noogie.
Yeah.
So you call it noogie, not noogie. Noogie.
I don't know. How's it spelled?
I don't know actually, but I think it's a noogie.
Yeah, noogie.
It's double O, right?
Yeah.
Noogie.
That's noogie.
Not a Y. Okay.
I don't think so.
You
So the
go
next question.
N-double-O-G-Y.
Yeah.
So the next question from the pool reporter to crew chief Zach Zarba. Was it later reviewed by the officiating crew in the locker room or by the replay center? Zarba responds with, our crew. We review all our plays, so we reviewed the play at halftime. All right, take that for what you will. And the final question, this is what's really going to make Heat fans feel good, all right? Because justice may very well be served. The question, should it have risen to the level of a flagrant foul if reviewed? Zarba, at this point, that goes to league operations, and they'll make a determination on that in the coming days. So they will make that determination and go from there. So rest easy, Heat fans. Rest easy. In the next couple days, the league may very well hand out that punishment to LaMelo Ball. They will very possibly suspend him for Friday's game against the loser of Orlando and Philadelphia tonight. So rather than it benefit the Heat, it will benefit the loser of tonight's game, as LaMelo Ball will be suspended, and justice will be served, and everyone in Heat Nation will feel good. What a stupid system.
Everybody in Heat Nation would feel more cheated than they do now. What do you mean feel good?
That's sarcasm, Cody. Come on now. Okay. No one's going to feel good.
Nobody.
It's ass backwards.
Right.
Pardon me.
Can you imagine the Magic lose tonight, and then the Magic get to face the Hornets without LaMelo Ball? What about the Heat? What about the Heat?
You know what they should do? Give us a couple percentage points on the lottery. Bump it from instead of 4 to 7, make it 10 to 13.
Pity points.
So stupid.
The NBA playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is boosting every game day all postseason long. And when the lights get brighter, the best players in the world show you exactly who they are. Playoff stars turn it up round by round, and DraftKings turns it up too, with profit boosts available every game day from the first round through the finals. New sportsbook customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN so you're ready for the moment. That's code DAN. Turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
America leads the world in medicine development. It matters. We get new medicines first, nearly 3 years faster. 5 million Americans go to work because we make medicines here at home. And not relying on other countries keeps us safe. But China is racing to overtake us. Will we let them, or will we choose to stay ahead? When America leads, America cures. Let's tell Washington to keep us in the lead.
Learn how at americacures.com. Paid for by Pharma.
You tell yourself, no one wants your college-era band tees. But on Depop, people are searching for exactly what you've got. You once paid a small fortune for them at merch stands. Now, a teenager who calls them vintage will offer that same small fortune back. Sell them easily on Depop. Just snap a few photos and we'll take care of the rest. Who knew your questionable music taste would be a money-making machine? Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Don Le Batard.
I want to address Tony and all men who would wear that shirt in public.
Stugotz.
Don't do it.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Would you rather have it flip to a win last night or get 3 extra percentage points?
No, I'm fine with them having lost last night because I know what's best for the team.
It's
I
fine.
am.
Right. It was the perfect Old Yeller game.
But
You
I
have
don't like
fun,
I don't
one
like
last
the
game.
injustice. That's the part
You
I
even
don't
get
like.
to hang your hat, your nice hat, asshole.
Did old
on the fact that something corrupt happened.
Did Old Yeller have a fun last day?
No, I'm saying, it's the last day. Old Yeller doesn't know what's happening, but you go out and play fetch with him one last time, right, Greg?
Yeah.
He goes over, brings the old ball right back, and then you're like, hey.
I don't think that's how Old Yeller went.
I don't think so, but I'm saying it's a beautiful. The Heat did it, right? You have this incredible game. You have this high and low emotionally. Oh, Bam's out. Tyler Hero hits the 3. Kobe White this, that, overtime. Oh, my God, the feed went out. Yeah. And you still get the guaranteed result and the result we all wanted, which is 4 to 7% chance of a top 4 pick. And you get taken out back. You play one game of fetch, and then you're done.
So tonight we got 2 more games. Philadelphia, Orlando. Winners in. They play Boston. Loser hosts Charlotte on Friday to play Detroit. And then we also have Warriors, Clippers. Winner advances to the next play-in game. Loser's season is done. Winner plays at Phoenix because Portland winning last night, they get to play San Antonio.
Big game or not a big game? Clippers, Warriors.
It's a good question.
Because, you got Steph. You got Kawhi on the other side.
Steph on a minutes restriction. How about this league, Greg? It's a do-or-die game. Minutes restriction.
That's wrong, isn't it?
So he's going to hit the restriction, let's say mid-4th quarter. It's a tie game. Steph, take a seat.
I don't believe it in any sport. And that harks back to the Marlins taking out Sandy when he was doing so well in the top of the 9th inning. Why is everybody going so by the book that the book ends up falling on everybody's head? How's that for a stretch of a metaphor?
Good point.
But minutes, why? I don't. Somebody smarter than me explain that to me. What is if your minutes limit is 28? What happens if you play 30?
You explode.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Spontaneously combust. Just explode all over
1 second after your minutes restriction.
Yeah.
There's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
See, I didn't know it was that seriast. Now I see the restriction.
Who's super pumped about what happened with the Miami Heat? yesterday? Inter Miami.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. I want to know what happened with Inter Miami because I don't pay close enough attention anymore because I don't like the way that they do business. And I think yesterday was another example of me not liking the way they do business.
You were a big Javier Mascherano guy, were you?
No, but it's 2 years in a row that the coach has left all of a sudden because of personal reasons? Wow. Coincidence. These guys have real personal issues when they coach Messi.
Well, Greg, you went to the opening game at the new stadium. What was your take on the matter?
Well, with the previous coach, Tata Martino, he had just been humiliated. His team was a shocking first-round loser to Atlanta, despite Messi. And so with cause, I think, he might have come up with a personal reason. I don't know yet. Maybe you do, Mike. I don't know yet what Mascherano's personal reasons are. I suspect that Leo Messi runs that team, and if Leo Messi doesn't sign off on this coaching move, the coaching move doesn't happen, and the personal issues go away. What do you think, Mike?
So Tom Bogert of The Athletic did a whole report on this. There was an argument inside the locker room following their draw, and Messi hasn't been happy since being eliminated in the Champions League at the hands of Nashville. And the temporary manager, the interim manager that was running training yesterday, as this was explained to the team.
There's a history there, right?
He's Messi's guy. So no one gets hired or fired at Inter Miami. Pardon me. No one gets hired or fired at Inter Miami without Messi's blessing.
Yeah.
And so, yes, this has number 10's fingerprints all over it. And while this may be surprising to American sports fans in soccer, especially at high-level soccer, especially when you're dealing with big-time superstars, it doesn't even really matter how successful you are. A lot of these managers, they churn in and out. Managers wear thin. A lot of clubs, like Sir Alex Ferguson.
So there aren't teams that have, like it's not a thing where if you're a good team, you've had the same manager for 10, 15 years?
It can happen. There is, a Sir Alex Ferguson example, but typically, even if you win trophies, managers come and they go. I'm a Chelsea fan. Chelsea wins trophies. Very rarely does the same manager win the same trophy. Right. It's just the nature of the sport, and it's the nature of big-time egos. And Messi is a player that is difficult to manage for a manager, and that's what happened here. Mascherano and the team decided, all right, this isn't a fit anymore, and it's because there was inside that locker room people not getting along.
Yeah, no, there's no question Messi runs everything with this franchise, and the proof of that is that Messi, because he doesn't want to, Messi hasn't done a proper media interview in like 3 years.
It's incredible.
It's like unheard of.
You're very hung up on that.
Well, look.
I'm hung up on it too. I am. I don't like it.
Imagine LeBron James when he first came to Miami. Nobody can talk to LeBron James.
Sell the team to the city. Talk to your fans. Talk to the city.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's because Messi's in charge of everything. He's bigger than any head coach, and so But the fact that it's personal reasons, quote unquote, that's just so lame,
How many coaches now is this for them in, 6 years of existence?
I think 4?
4?
No, more than that. I think it's more than that.
No, I mean, if you want to count the interim guys,
this will
fine,
be at least 5.
But in full time, so we had the first one who went on to manage Uruguay, wasn't very good here. You had the English dude. What's a goddamn?
I forget his name too.
Neville. Phil Neville.
Yeah,
he was here for a while actually.
Yeah.
And then you had Tata Martino, and then you had Javier Mascherano.
And now this will be 5, right?
Yeah, you had a couple interims, I think, in between there, but no, not a lot.
No. 5 in 6 years is a lot. I'm sorry.
Not
Come
in soccer,
on.
dude. Not in soccer. It's the nature of the sport. These are long campaigns, multiple competitions that reside within each individual calendar year, and these guys are around each other a lot. Guys obviously have differing opinions on what tactics should be deployed. And once Messi doesn't like the way something is headed, even for someone who's his friend in Javier Mascherano, can find him very difficult to manage.
Do you think they could still be friends after this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, you got him fired.
Yeah, so what? It happens.
I mean, Greg, if someone got you fired, would they still be your friend?
It's business.
Zaz, you got him hired.
Yeah.
Nothing personal. Dad, you are so sensitive.
What?
Like you're like, oh, it's just business. I'd still be friends.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
You got him hired. Javier Mascherano came over here, won a championship with Inter Miami. Javier Mascherano is leaving a more in-demand manager than he arrived.
And when you coach Inter Miami, you understand that you are beholden to Messi. That you have to keep Messi happy or you don't work out. I mean, it's just the way it is. You know, it doesn't surprise me in the least that if Messi's behind this, it wasn't going to work. Messi's got to be happy.
Greg, were you locked into that WNBA the other night?
The draft?
Mm-hmm. I was not locked into it. I did not watch it. I read about it. I like the fact that AZ Fudd was the top pick. I think it was a smart move because of the personal relationship she has with Paige Beckers. It makes all the sense in the world. The key is keeping your players happy. We just segue from Lionel Messi getting what he wants to the two star players now having what they want, which is to play on the same team. They have a personal relationship, and for them to be teammates makes both people happy. Usually you have to give a big amount of money to make a player happy. If you can make these two stars happy by joining them on the same team, why wouldn't you do that?
Now,
it's not like AZ Fudd was a borderline first-round pick and they reached for her. She was a top 5 pick. Who was going to go number 1 was uncertain. So it just made all the sense in the world to me that Dallas picked her. I think it was brilliant.
Now, what do you do if they break up?
That's their problem, not mine.
We did so well there. He thought he was going to trap us. But we read, we studied, and we punted on the difficult question. Punt.
Tony, last night you had an issue where were you last night that you were trying to do something?
I was going to get dinner for my family.
Don't laugh at me.
No,
he knows what I meant.
He only really heard a portion of the story. He knows
what I meant.
I know exactly what he meant. He only heard a portion of the story as I was telling it outside.
Incredible toss by us.
So I'm going to get dinner. I'm living in my in-laws' house right now because our house is getting renovated. We don't live in the house. We live in the in-laws' house. So everybody looked around. Hey, it's kind of late. Let's just get some, redacted sub chain. We're going to go over there and I'll get a couple sandwiches. All right, perfect. So I go to order online. I was like, you know what? I got to go to Publix anyway. I'm going to pass by. I'll just make the order, put it in the car, and then go grab what I need at Publix. So place closed at 9 o'clock. I looked. All of a sudden, I look, it's like 8:42. I'm like, all right, let me get over there. Like, I'll be the last guy in. Ooh. As I am the last guy in, I walk through the door, 8:46. All right, enough time, get a couple of subs, everybody's happy, I pay, I leave, right? I walk in, deathly silent. Just like, okay, where is everybody? One girl kind of pops up from behind the counter, and she's like, what do you need?
She was below the counter?
Yeah, because she was cleaning something underneath.
She laying down?
No, she was like cleaning something underneath. So I look up, and I'm like, hey, can I get a couple of sandwiches? She's like, well, how many do you want?
What?
And I'm like, 4? Can I get 4 sandwiches? I look at the counter. The entire counter's clean. No lettuce, no tomato, no nothing. Completely clean. And I'm like, it's 8:46. Are you guys not open till 9 o'clock? And she's like, yeah, but we closed early. I'm like, okay, so I can't get the sandwich right now? And she's like, no, I'm sorry. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, okay, fine. So I go over to Publix. I get a pub sub. As I'm walking back to the car, she's still cleaning something on the register. You know what I do? I like to do experiments in times like this where I'm like, what can I do to get a rise out of this person? So instead of giving her the middle finger, which I thought was rude, because, it's not right.
That would have been aggressive.
What I did is...
So it was a 9 p.m. sub, by the way.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. I just went thumbs down the entire way. Just to let her know, hey, I'm not happy about this.
You should have done the thing where you go sideways and you're like...
You could do that next time.
Build up.
You could do that for your own thing. But I just went straight thumbs down the entire way. Just walking the entire Jersey... redacted subject. I like him, by the way. I very much like him. Thumbs down.
And did she react? Did she see your thumb?
She did. She just stared at me.
Popped up again?
She stared at me. But you know what? I wasn't changing that thumb until I left all the way. And the entire 12 feet of open Jersey... redacted subchain.
Yes.
Thumbs down the whole way.
I like it.
Thumbing it.
I like it. That's fine. See, that's
I'm
nice.
good with
it's
what
like
she
a
did.
wave. It's like a wave.
You're good with what she did?
Dude,
Closed 14 minutes early?
8:46?
No, you can't do that.
You're open till 9.
Yeah.
I expect you to be open until 9.
Yeah, but restaurants start cleaning.
9 o'clock sub is crazy.
If you're open till 9, be open till 9. Clean after 9.
Put it on the poll. If you're open till 9, be open till 9.